welcome everybody. We got a lot of stuff in store here today. Welcome to the College A Pro Summer Camp. Hopefully, I can't fit into that shirt anymore, but I wish I could. Classic summer camp stuff, though. One of my favorite movies, Meatballs. So, I was thinking putting this webinar together. We were kind of going through ideas, and I said, "What can we do in July?" And I said, a couple things. One is for what are for advisors, and then for our team, kind of what have we been up to kind of give you, I guess, a little bit of a peek into what we're up to and the new features and things you're going to see soon. So hopefully I can get to this. There we go. So what we can do for you and just ways to kind of retool over the summer. So hopefully I put together some content today. I want to talk through some ideas and hopefully talk through things you want to get out when you do a camp or do trainings of some kinds. You want to learn new skills, new things that you can take back to your practice in this case, and just things that maybe you weren't as familiar with before, but sometimes you discover things at summer camp that stay with you for the rest of your life. So hopefully you'll leave this hour we have together feeling inspired. We are certainly inspired by the work that everybody does. If you don't know me, my name is Joe Messenger. I wear a couple different hats, but today I'm a co-founder of College A Pro, and we're excited about where we're at. We're really excited about where we're going. I think everybody's going to be pretty pumped about some of the stuff I'm going to share today. And if you're not yet on the platform, hopefully it'll give you some insights into how it can add value for your practice. So College A Pro, I probably set the table every time, but it really is, for us, is about raising the bar in college funding advice. So as we talk about taking something away, hopefully one of the things that even meeting with top CFPs and financial planners is, as I've heard it said, you have identified a real chink in our armor in late stage college planning, and we need to do more. So raising the bar in college funding advice, going beyond the sticker price, going beyond 529s and student loans as the only solutions, actually shopping smarter for college. And you'll see that in our taglines, changing the way America shops for college. If we do that, collectively, and we need your help, we've got several hundred advisors on our platform now, and we're growing each and every month by leaps and bounds. And I think what you'll see today is, as we begin to work with larger groups, enterprise solutions from 2 advisors to 2,000 advisors, we've now got the capability to manage all of your college planning in one spot. And it makes us unique in the space. And the idea is collectively, we can end the student loan crisis one family at a time. When we think about the power of that sentence, ending the student loan crisis one family at a time, what does that mean? Well, our approach is to do it proactively instead of reactively. There's plenty of information out there. You can't open a newspaper or turn on a TV without hearing about, forgiving student loan debt or, the loan crisis as it is. And, I personally am not a huge proponent of forgiving student loan debt. I'll just put that on the table as we get going here today, because it doesn't fix the problem. It creates a Band-Aid, and then 10 years later, we're back in the same place. So proactively means helping people make more informed college buying decisions, true transparency into what the net cost, not the sticker price, what it's actually going to cost, down to student loans and what your loan payment will be. If every family had to demonstrate exactly how they're going to pay for all 4 years of college, down to the penny, including the student loan and the loan payments, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. So, hopefully we can inspire you to deliver this kind of advice, because what we know is we have to empower advisors with the right software, the right training, and community. I think what you'll see today, a couple of things we're going to roll out. We've got a brand new ebook that I'm going to introduce, how to grow a great college funding business or integrate it into your existing business. We'll talk about that today. Training. We've beefed up our College A Pro Academy. So if you are a member or you're not, I'll show you how to get access into there, into our trainings, because I think sometimes this is an area where we know advisors aren't often trained on it. So, we've kind of got to step up. And as part of that is, rolling out more partners, that we're working with on the education front. The AICCFC is a designation that we support. The Savvy College Planning with Lynn O'Shaughnessy and her team, and Ross and his team at the AICCFC. So, we're excited to kind of be a part of leading this charge of groundswell of wanting to make this type of planning, quite frankly, not just a niche practice, but table stakes. I really see a point in the future where if you're working with families with college-bound students, you've got to go beyond just the sticker price. You've got to go beyond, I'll help you save in a 529, and then, good luck is basically what the approach is for a lot of advisors out there today. And we've got families, and there's such a demand for what we do. So we'll come back to that. And but I wanted to tee up a couple things just to, get into, kind of what do we do? What is a summer camp? What did I mean by all this? This summer camp idea, it's like, can we learn new skills? Can we take out of this and work over the summer to go into the fall when everybody's back, so that we have a game plan of really how to build our practice, how to build a great practice. So, I say it all the time, like hope is not a strategy. I talked to an advisor last week that's been in the business over 30 years. He's got over 500 clients, and he's absolutely miserable. And if that resonates with you, I'm sorry. I come from a point of, having to have, more clients and be on the hamster wheel of commission-based business. And I got to tell you, that shift of getting into a retainer-based model, a fee-based model, something that we definitely embrace. There's nothing wrong with positioning products and selling products, but this idea of like, can we set out on a path? So, I put together, if you really want to build a great practice, so hopefully these are some things that will resonate with you. So if you really want to build a great practice and you want to do it with college planning, that hopefully that's kind of why you're here. It's like, I want to get it's like a boot camp, right? So we're going to spend an hour, but, I can't nearly go through every one of these pieces, but I'll hit on a few of them. Because I really, kind of put together, I do a lot of 5s and 3s and 6s, but 5 keys to building a practice you love. And this is any niche, if you're here and you're exploring doing college planning as a niche or adding it to your practice, but really for any practice, number one, have a vision for your practice. We have this great opportunity in this industry to build a lifestyle type of business that can serve us well. Some people have, they want to build an enterprise. They want to have lots of advisors wrapped up, tucked up underneath them. But whatever that looks like for you, have a vision for your practice. It's just, we have this beautiful industry where, I've talked to, young parents, and they say, look, like I only want to work about 20 hours a week. And I said, great. So what does that mean for you? Well, ideally I've got, 30, 40 clients, and they're all paying me a minimum of $5,000 per year in retainer. So $150,000 to $200,000. And I meet with them all a couple times a year. And that's a great practice for me. So, wow, that's awesome. You can do that in this business. You can make a couple $100,000 a year working, having a couple meetings with a few great clients a month or a week rather. So, have that vision for your practice. How many clients, who do you serve? How many clients are in that client community? What is your minimum to make sure that they're part, they can make sure that you're not super top heavy, that, you're subsidizing super low clients, and that's a tough thing to do, is to carve out your business. But have that vision. What does it look like? When do you going to hire your office manager? Right? If you haven't hired somebody yet, when are you going to hire that person? When are you going to hire a parent planner or an assistant, associate planner? Whatever that practice looks like for you. So just, have a vision for your practice, kind of see into the future is, what I'm trying to say, to have that vision for your practice. Number 2, I'm a big believer in committing to a niche. It doesn't mean you can't serve other clients that come through the door, but I do think from a marketing and scalability of your practice, when you commit to a niche, everything becomes easier. Okay, so I mean, and this is something that we discovered, and if you don't know, I also own a registered investment advisory firm. It's been around just over a decade. I have a phenomenal partner there that helps me, allows me to do what we do with College Aid Pro, and we've divided and conquered over the years, and part of that was committing to a niche and letting me do the front of the house. Letting me be business development and marketing, and him predominantly do most of the planning. So by having that vision for our practice, you do what you're great at, I'll do what I'm great at, and we'll commit to this niche. It really helped us. It's foundationally what helped us build a great practice, advising on over 100 million in assets right now. So we built that, and now it allows me to spend time doing some other things. But what we focus on now is just really refining our practice, refining it, getting better at different areas, and bringing on more help. So, this having a vision, setting out on it, committing to the niche, for us, meaning like, what are you good at? What do you need to outsource and delegate? Those kind of things come in there too. So, if you have a vision, you've got a niche that you're committed to, and there's lots of niches out there. I don't claim that college funding is the only one out there by any stretch, but I can tell you, for me, working in this industry for over 20 years, until I got with college planning, I was just serving everybody. I would serve a 401k plan one day, and then I go try and sell health insurance the next day, and then I'd have to be go be a 403b specialist the next day, and it just it's bonkers. Work with a business owner on a buy sell. So being in that niche, it allows you to have a homogenous client base. What I mean by that is, when you go down and you commit to this niche and you've got this vision for your practice, you don't have to do all things for all people. It is okay to turn away clients. Yes, I said that. It is okay to turn away clients if they're not an ideal client for you, right? So the sooner you can commit to having only ideal clients, the better off your practice will be. So for us, the referrals that come through, guess what? When we talk about a niche, you've got to be the real deal. Thing number 3 here, we're going through, like, if you think about it in this, you commit to a niche, you've got to be the real deal. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have the right resources and tools to do it. And you've got to connect deeply with your clients, right? So that's the other part of it. You got to understand where they're coming from. You got to have this behavioral and emotional aspect that you really do need to understand. And I hope that, through some of our trainings and what we put together for advisors is, it is about, you need the technical aspects. And fortunately, College Aid Pro as a software platform is able to do about 95% of that. But you still need the human element. You need that human guidepost to really get through this and help make guided conversations, have the college money conversations with students, all those things. And that's connecting deeply with your clients. And when we talk about connecting with this group of people, these are typically people 45 to 55 years old. They've got a couple of kids and they're worried about how to pay for college. But guess what? Retirement's right around the corner. They've never really looked at if they're investing properly. They've got like 3 different financial advisors that they bought a 529 from, some life insurance and some disability income insurance over the last 25 years. They have no plan. So our role is to be the real deal, connect deeply with them. And it's college planning done right, you will get the rest of the business. College planning done right, you will get the rest of the business. And I talk a lot about the Gen X wave that's coming. The Gen X wave is really, Gen X is going to hold all the assets, Gen X and Gen Y, in the next 25 years. Great wealth transfer, $68 to $75 trillion, depending on what you look at. But that's coming. Like, it's over the next 20 years. So, are we looking for the 60-year-old retiree? Yeah, sure we are. But we want to find them when they're 45. Because when that happens, when that money comes, we're going to be there. So, that's that niche. We know now, having been doing this 10 years plus, when people transition to retirement, those retirement funds aren't going anywhere else. When they get that inheritance, that money's not going anywhere else. They're going to work with us. So, this idea of, like, hopefully here over the summer, getting clarity on your practice, have a vision, commit to the niche, be the real deal, which means you've got to, have education, information, training, and resources, which I'm going to hit on today with some of our new resources we've made available. Connecting deeply with clients is, you're talking about their kids and education and their money. If you can do that eloquently, you're going to build great relationships with people for life. Great relationships with people for life. And the thing about, I think about connecting deeply, like where we're able to go now, is like giving people the confidence. We've gotten them to and through college for 2 and 3 kids, and now we're on to focusing on them, and we're on to focusing on things like a vacation home that they never thought they'd be able to afford, right? So those kind of things to me are just, that get us up out of bed in the morning, because we get into this business to help people, but then all too often we find ourselves just like feeling like we're slogging through it and checking in and clocking out every day, and you're just on a hamster wheel. So, if you can have the vision, commit to the niche, be the real deal, connect deeply with ideal clients, and invest in your business, the right way. So we talked about the vision, this commit to a niche, this idea of like, not everyone is your customer, right? If you are working in a niche, you're able to produce, if you think of like an avatar, right? So like if you have this client avatar, we talk about, all these, marketing firms talk about them and, having your avatar, but like really like if you commit to it, guess what? They know other people like them. That's the other piece of this. If you talk to somebody that has a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, two boys, and they play high school football, guess who they hang out with? Other parents of high school football players, or soccer or lacrosse or band or whatever that, family is. But, the great thing about this is the referability of college. If you really get this right, I'm going to walk through College Aid Pro and how we can facilitate that for you. They don't need to know anything about their colleagues to refer them to you. Because when we show people what we do with College Aid Pro, I've heard it again and again and again. I did not know a service like this existed. Why didn't my financial advisor show me this? I don't know, but your friends don't know either. So please send them our way. So as you can imagine, things just mushroom and they grow, and then you're able to be as selective on who you bring on board, make sure they're truly a great fit, not just financially, but personality wise as well. So I can't stress that one enough. So I kind of skip through them, but they're all interrelated. But like as far as investing in your business, you've got to make some tough choices. But I feel like the summer is a good time. Things are a little quieter. Clients don't necessarily want to meet. So get clarity on, what does staffing look like? Are you looking to bring somebody on? What are the triggers that are going to get you there? I can tell you that you're too busy to hire, and you need to hire because you're too busy. Guilty, right? That's it. Like from a staffing standpoint, you're too busy to hire and you need to hire because you're too busy. It's like you're never going to be ready financially. So it's kind of like you got to rip the Band-Aid and invest in your business and begin to staff up. And like I said, that's something that you got to etch out time to get it done and make it happen. But from staffing to tech to training to marketing to community, how are you going to, build all these are kind of things that I think high level staffing, tech, there's a lot of things we can invest in from a technology standpoint to make sure that they all integrate. Integration and seamless integration is a huge buzzword. So, our ability with College Aid Pro and some of our solutions now to integrate, our prospecting tools with your, lead acquisition all the way down to, acquiring new leads to promoting them, to attract them, acquire them, and then serve them well. That's what technology integrated should do for us. In our business, that's kind of when we look at this. Does this help us attract, acquire, and serve clients better? If you're going to invest in tech, I think that's some of the tenets I would think about. Can we attract, acquire, and serve clients better? Training, I'll hit on. So some of our more advanced capabilities in that area with our academy. We've got free courses as well as paid courses. Marketing, how are you going to market your practice, right? So investing in your business, what does that look like? So I always say, if you're looking at niches, like you've got to be the real deal to do it. You've got to be able to connect with the clients, behavioral and emotionally, but it's got to be marketable and profitable, and you got to enjoy working with it. It's the other piece, behavioral and emotional side. Do you like working with people at this phase of life? I sure do. It's just more exciting to me than work with people on figuring out Medicare. It just is. So that's just me. But when we're talking about, how do we market it? Well, with college planning, we've got 4 million kids going off to school out to college every year. We've got roughly 20 million students enrolled in college at any given time. 75% of parents say that their number one concern is how to pay for college, yet most advisors say we don't do that. The ability to market with a constantly renewing market with a deadline and a benefit to doing something, there's nothing else like it. The only other thing you have to do is do your taxes. Or you should anyway. You do your taxes every year. So I know a lot of advisors use that as their hook that, we're going to help you figure out tax strategy. Our friends at Plan, I think, are changing the whole paradigm for the financial planning industry, and kudos to them. Doing more tax planning as opposed to tax prep. Like I said, dear friends of ours, if you haven't heard of Plan, I'll give them a shout out here on the webinar. That check them out if you're looking to dig deeper with tax and do it in a scalable way, right? So that's another thing tech allows us to do. If you're going to market something and show it as a value add of your practice, is it repeatable? Is it scalable? Is it something you can do without a huge lift? And I say all the time, it's like what we're putting together, we've tried to figure out, we can't do the staffing for you, but from a tech, training, marketing, community, I really feel like the investment in College Aid Pro brings all those things to the table. And then when you see what we've pulled in from outside sources, like I mentioned, through Savvy College Planning and the AICCFC, the designation work with Ross Riskin and his team, these are all things we're trying to put together and hopefully create great experiences for advisors. So a couple of things, and then I'm going to dive into the tech for like the second half of this, but there's a few things I want to hit on because it comes up often. Joe or Dave or Matt or Bill, all the co-founders, we're doing a demo. I say, oh, I love what you're doing, but it's not approved. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit, right? Our industry is a mess, right? People don't even understand what our designations are. We've got alphabet soup everywhere. I threw a couple RA, IBD, IEC, ADV, ABA, blah, 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 all this stuff. If you feel like college funding is something that your clients can benefit from and they can benefit from College Aid Pro, talk to us. And I would say if you're working with families that have college-bound, kids, talk to us. We'll figure out a way to make it work, because what we've learned is, the independent RAs, it's pretty easy. You just make a choice. Are we going to put it on as a service that we offer on our ADV, or are we going to consider it an outside business activity? Outside broker dealers, we are actively working on approval with a number of broker dealers right now. I think for them, the challenge and one of the things we're getting over, if you're interested in this and you have a broker dealer, please reach out, book a demo with us, and let's talk about a way that we can get the doors open. Because it's, we've got to get mass adoption. We have a couple of our first ones. You'll be getting announcements. You'll hear announcements from some large broker dealers in the coming weeks that we are extremely excited about. But if you want to offer this, talk to us. We'll figure out a way, because what some people have done is chosen, if they are not allowed to do it, you can set up an outside business activity and we can help facilitate that. And if you want to do it through us and run some things through us, we can help facilitate that. So don't let where you're set at or structured get in the way. A lot of people at some of the large broker dealers have said, you know what, I think this is really important, and it's the best way for me to attract new clients to my financial planning and investment management business. So I'm going to run it outside of it. And that's okay. You can do that. So, but make sure you do it within the lines of what's there. So, and we've done that with lots of folks across the country. So reach out, let's talk about it. So when we talk to the larger broker dealers and RIAs and large corporate structure, one of the things we get is like, how do we make money on this? And then how do we regulate it? Right. So some of the things that we have figured out over the years is, from a regulation standpoint, I'll show you once we get into the academy, but you will have the ability to go through a certificate course. So if you are from a broker dealer or an RIA and you're saying, gosh, how do we regulate this? Our advisors are never trained on it. I've got 400 CFPs. They don't know a darn thing about this stuff. How do we kind of regulate it and make sure that they have at least a basis of knowledge? Well, that's why we created, the foundations course, and our platform certificate is to help make sure that you can show that you've at least provided a base level of knowledge. So that's one thing. And then how do we structure these things? Well, we've got advisors making money with this in a lot of different ways and utilizing the College Aid Pro system in a lot of different ways. So one way people do it is in a limited engagement. So, kind of a modular plan of sorts. So if somebody says, hey, I want to work with you, and then you can just use the College Aid Pro system to do that. So what we typically would do is we see advisors offering a 60 to a 90-minute session. This is not a free discovery call. I think we give away way too much information. College Aid Pro can give you way too much output, which you'll see when I get into the clients. But the idea is like, can you get paid for prospecting? Right. So, when Ryan and I were doing this in our firm, I think one year we did 50 or 60 of these where we would charge $300 to $500. We see advisors charging up to $1,000 for 60 minutes of our time to go through and do this college funding plan. But we used to put in 5 or 6 hours of prep to get there. But now you can do a College Aid Pro in about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can spend your time in that meeting, really building that plan with them and showing the output. So I'll get in and show a little bit of College Aid Pro here in a minute. But that idea of why do I call that paid prospecting? It's like, well, because guess what else comes up? Retirement. The other two kids coming behind them, right? Are they investing the right way? Are your 529s over invested? know, if you look at a 529 plan statement and you're doing this kind of modular thing, well, I don't know if it'll shock you or not, but a lot of people set up 529s 15 years ago and they've never changed the allocation. They're a year or two away from college and they're still 95% in stock. So that alone, right? And then if they're in a advisor sold versus a direct plan for 529, say, look, do you know that there's a direct plan that you might be able to benefit from here in the state that actually gives you a state tax benefit and has about a tenth of the cost. So things like that, you can do in these modular engagements. And then the offer is, if you'd like help with this to and through college, but also help see how this balances out with your retirement, that's really what you're talking about. You're flowing it into comprehensive financial planning and wealth management, because, it's going to come up, if they have an advisor or not, right? So if they have an advisor or not, it's simply ask them, do you currently work with an advisor? Well, yes. Right. Well, okay. So tell me about that relationship. Well, we get together, we review investments like once a year. Okay, great. Well, have you asked them about college funding? Have they helped you figure out how to pay for all 4 years of college down to the penny for all 3 kids? Well, no, they don't really do that. Okay. I'm sure they're great at what they did and they got you to where you're at, but they're not going to get you to where you need to go. Right. So if you're sitting here as an advisor, that is a conversation that I have with your clients and they move their money. I'm sure they're a great advisor. They got you to where you're at, but your most important thing right now is paying for college and not getting over your head with student loans for the kids, right? Yep. Great. So that advisor, they got you to where you're at. I'm sure they were great at it, but they're not going to get you to where you need to go. That's what we specialize in. We're going to help you get to and through college to an on-time retirement debt-free. Does that sound like something you like to work with an advisor on? And I just got paid $500 to have that meeting, by the way. So that's the kind of the power, right, that you can have. If you can have a meaningful conversation around college, you'll get the rest of the money. So, that's something I wanted to bring that up because like this idea of like summer camp and retooling and getting through the intimidation factor from a structure standpoint, I don't know anything about this. Can we just outsource this? You can, and we have the resources to do that. But I would recommend, just work with us, license the software, it's let's figure it out. So if you're trying to figure it out and there's a gap in your practice in this area, just reach out. We'll help figure out the best way to either fold it into your practice or link you up with a great College A Pro advisor that knows what they're doing, that can kind of be your surgeon in this area. So those are kind of helpful structure-wise of the conversations we're having. And, we are really focused on making sure we're getting more and more mass adoption because we don't want to just be a boutique. I think every family in America deserves to find an affordable path to college. And as an advisory community, we really need to step up and help those that choose to work with an advisor go deeper into this process and help them understand exactly what they're getting into. So hopefully that's helpful, kind of having that vision, figuring out what you want to invest in, and then also how do you structure it? Just reach out, let's have a conversation. So, as it relates to all these things, our new ultimate guide, there's a link here and we'll have it in some of the follow-up. And I'll see if I can even throw it in chat if I can. But this guide, it's going to talk about growing your practice with college planning. So if you're considering this, I'd highly recommend, download the ebook because we're going to talk about, some of the why, what, and how, right? So the why is, why should you be considering this? We've got plenty of statistics around it. And then the what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about going beyond what's in traditional financial planning software and providing value, understanding how to shop for college. And then the other piece is providing a framework. How do you actually approach this? I think that's something that if we can take that intimidation factor off the table as well, of like, oh, there's a logical way to actually go through this. Like the CFP board has, here's how you design and build and implement a financial plan. The tenets of financial plan. So it's not that different. It's just college is so it's. If you think about the college goal, the reason it really needs framework is because it's this huge investment. It's the largest investment many families will make. And I would argue for some, it's going to be more than they even put into their house. Because if you bought a house for $400,000 and you pay it off over 30 years, you put in 600, you very well may have 3 kids that cost you more than that to go to college. It's crazy, but it's this huge investment, and it's a compressed timeline. So, there's only 18 years to save, whereas retirement, we've got 45 plus years. And then when we get there, the decumulation, right? So we talk about decumulation. The decumulation is 4 years, right? And we're also talking about accumulators that have only climbed up to the top of the mountain. And I did an interview with Craig Iskowitz on his podcast on wealth management tools, and he said, "Gosh, that idea of decumulation is something to really lean into because it totally makes sense. People have only saved money. How do we actually get the money out effectively and make sure we do it the most tax efficient way? Make sure that we understand all the levers we can pull. What should come from cash flow? What should come from assets? What should come from loans? How do we make sure that we understand all these pieces? And I don't want to move the right thing. When should grandparent money come in? When can it? I've heard it can disrupt financial aid. Yes, it can. So this idea of decumulating and paying for a huge expense in a 4-year period, is a real big deal. We have a short path to save for it. We've got a height, a really tight window to make sure that funding happens. And people need help. We have advisors call, every week, financial planners call our office and ask for help with this topic. And these are 20 and 25-year veterans, CFPs. And this thing is just it goes so deep, but we've tried to create a framework and a five-part framework to help family through this. And you'll see that in the software. If we know the why and, kind of what we're talking about, the idea, like, hopefully for us, is we're how you do it. You need to have the right tools to attract, acquire, and serve clients. And maybe it's adding value for existing ones and integrating it into your practice. So that's really what the ebook's all about. And then, I'd say when you book in, if you do a demo with us, that's the other thing that a demo is about. It's really a discovery call. We want to talk to you. We want to learn about your practice and learn kind of, is this a tool where you just want to better serve your existing clients? Are you looking to have this be a lead generator for you to help you grow your practice? Because we've got a whole new solution set there. Are you a team? Where I'm going to get into our College Aid Pro marketing hub that is brand new. So we've implemented it with a couple of large enterprises and it's working wonderfully. So our ability, like I said, the right tools in this space, if you are from a larger group, if you've got 2 advisors or 2,000, we've now got the tools to help you really use College Aid Pro effectively and efficiently to help you grow your practice. So I think on that, we'll talk about the tools. So, think of us, College Aid Pro, as a technology partner, right? So this idea of summer camp, like if you're retooling, you're thinking like, how do we invest in a partner that can help us, be more efficient in our practice, deliver great expert advice with confidence and ease, and then also kind of be the backstop, right? So, one thing that I always try to stress and get a point across when I'm doing these webinars is this ability to also give back to your community. With College Aid Pro and the resources that we have and the knowledge you can gain about financial aid, one of the things you find if you dig deep enough in is that 85% of people don't have an advisor. And a lot of those wouldn't be a good fit for your practice. But if you're like me, and there's a lot of like-minded advisors in here, if you're looking to do something else to really, promote diversity, inclusion, and equity in your community, if you're part of a bank or anything, the ability to take what you know and what you have at your fingertips with College Aid Pro, huge opportunity. Always looking for opportunities to partner with, first generation low income areas, because education is just a huge way that they can break that cycle. So hopefully that's it's a little bit of a framework that we talked about, kind of those 5 tenets. I hope were helpful. So we'll kind of shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to stop my share for 1 second, make sure the right website's up here, and then take a couple quick questions and then dive back in. Let's make sure we're on the right spot here. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's see if we got a question here. Slides will be coming out. I'm going to take a couple quick questions. Reach out to us if you need help with OBA. We've even got sample language It's an outside business activity that we've had no trouble getting approved with most broker dealers. You just kind of got to get them what they ask for and work through the process. Okay. Yes, I'm getting into the software now. So hopefully that was helpful for most of you. I understand some of you may be here more for a demo of sorts. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's see. Hopefully we're seeing this here. So this is the ebook. If you want to go and check it out, please do. And then let's kind of hop into some of our pieces here. So this is the dashboard. One of the things you'll find with us is we white label everything for advisors. So from what your clients see, what you see, what's in the software, et cetera. Any reports that are generated, I'll have your branding, your disclosures, et cetera. So we're very conscious of compliance as well. So you have the ability to go in, work with, set up your few things. You can set default colleges. One of the things inside, if I just kind of go through the functionality, this is a tool built by advisors for advisors. So as we've built this, we took best practices from a lot of the industry leaders. So the ability to set things like defaults, and then another piece that we worked on sometime last year was this ability for advisors to be able to create a self-registration link. So if you wanted to provide this link to someone, they could go through and create their account and create a login. So something that you can go through a discovery only. So some advisors use that. They want to just collect data and then have a discovery meeting. Other advisors really use it more for to onboard clients. So that's collaborate mode. So when you go through this one here, it's going to go through an onboarding and discovery. So let's see. So a couple things I wanted to point out is we're going to go through back here. There's some new functionality for teams, and it also an ability to manage prospects and clients. So what do we mean by prospects? If you go through this tool here, if you go to freecollegemoneyreport.com, this is a sample, and you can go fill this out today. So freecollegemoneyreport.com, this can be done in a white labeled format as well. So the examples I give would just be our firm in Columbus, Ohio. We've got our version here, but what this is essentially a nice, it's a widget. So people go through and it's going to help them get a free report. So we use this College Money Report both as a lead gen on our website. You can do it through social media and things like that as well, but it's all white labeled, appears to be yours. But the idea is, you're going to go through some pretty basic prompts, and we're going to help people get started on their mission. In about 5 minutes, if they answer these questions, we're going to show you how much colleges think you can afford if you qualify for grants and scholarships, and how much you'd be expected to pay out of pocket. So they go through all these tabs, gathering information like income, assets, a little bit on their academics of the student. And what we're trying to get to is figure out what type of schools may be best for you. So when we do that, I'm just going to pull up a client so I can actually show a report. This is your first glimpse inside of the College Aid Pro dashboard. Here's how things navigate. So, when you're in here, this is a client. This is just a sample client. You have the ability when you're in a client, they can have no access. You can invite them to discovery, an onboarding, and this particular client that's already been with us, they're in a collaborate mode. So, the idea is the software should give you the ability to manage whatever type of access you want clients to have on their family portal at any given time. So when a new report comes in, it goes into this prospects tab, and then you're going to have access to a report that has been delivered to them and to you once they've filled out that widget. And the report is going to come in. It's going to sit in your documents vault. And so you can go and view this report right from inside. There is a document vault inside. So this is the report that was created. So this is I'm not going to go through step by step of everything in the report. I want to talk more about the functionality beyond getting the report. But the idea is, like I said, Somebody comes through, they fill this report out, they provide an email, and then you're going to have this report sent to you, and they're going to get the report sent to them. So what happens there is you get a report back, and it also gives you, hey, here's their income, their assets, their GPA, their ACT, their grad class, and the 3 schools that they're most interested in. I would venture to guess that most advisors don't even know that half that information about some of their clients and their kids. So this also helps you identify, are they a prospect or not? Are they a good prospect for us, potentially based on income and assets and what they have out there? So we use it as a lead acquisition tool, but also if somebody books in a discovery call, we want to have them go fill out this report because it allows us to have a really informed college conversation when they get on the line. So it's a nice report. It's written like a children's book. We want to help people understand that financial aid is confusing, right? So this is a great deliverable. Walking them through the cost of attendance. Well, what's that? It's a sticker price. EFC, what the heck is that? Well, that's what the colleges think you can pay. What is need? Well, that's your eligibility for aid. What's a grant? Well, that's typically based on the need of the family. If your EFC is less than the cost of attendance. So education, educate first. What's a merit scholarship? Well, that's based on the academics of the student. What is the net cost? Well, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is the only thing that really should matter to a family. The net cost is the cost of attendance, the all-in cost, minus gift aid, which is grants and scholarships, right? So that is, that is the bottom of the line. So a lot of net cost projections that you'll see out there include garbage like loans and work study. Those don't reduce my cost of college at all. We're either working for them or we're taking a loan out. So that, but oftentimes net cost, they'll disguise financial aid, and it is financial aid, is student loans and work study. So, we try to break through all the noise and give people the real deal instead of putting lipstick on a pig. So understanding, how this stuff all works. If you're new to this, understanding need-based eligibility is thing number one, how much they think you can afford. The cost of attendance minus EFC, that's your eligibility for need-based financial aid. So at a school like Harvard that costs $75,000 to $80,000, your EFC of 30, you're eligible for $45,000 of need. So one of the things I say all the time is sticker price of college is irrelevant if you know how to shop. We've got example after example, but the example I've been giving, that I'm really proud of this year is a student that was only considering community colleges and state schools. And just by filling out this report and working with us through College Aid Pro, lo and behold, that student's able to go to Georgetown for about half the price of our state school in Ohio. That's the kind of power we can have with College Aid Pro, and I'll get into some specific examples. But if you've ever had somebody ask you about, well, what's this EFC thing? I don't think I'm going to get any financial aid. And I say, well, how much money do you make? Well, 150,000. I'm like, well, that at most schools, you're going to get a lot of financial aid potentially. So, this is a family making about 150,000, by the way. They think they can afford 33 to 38. There's 3 different formulas. If you're a divorced family, these numbers are going to look very different. These schools count home equity. These ones don't. All the things are baked in to College Aid Pro for you. You don't need to know everything. We're trying to provide some basic logic for families with this report. You just need to know how to get the right information in. But here's what we're trying to give is like, look, Riley's not going to be eligible for need-based grants at most public colleges, but she will be eligible at most private colleges because it's that formula of cost of attendance minus EFC. And so also you're going to be eligible for some merit scholarships at certain schools. So again, it's trying to provide them with bottom line. Here's the deal. Here's your top 3 choices you put in on a 1 and 4 year net cost, right? And so understand this, some colleges will even offer a deeper discount when Riley has a sibling that is also enrolled in college. And that's something I bet most advisors wouldn't really be able to flush out, because on a 1 year basis, Penn would be 39,000, but on a 4, it's only 120. Well, why is that? Because they give you about a 40% discount when you've got another sibling in school, right? So we try and provide people with answers and solutions on here's what's going on in Ohio State. Here's their cost, your EFC, your need eligibility, if you will get any need-based grants or scholarships. And then boom, here's your net cost over 4 years projection. Here's how they run their business. Here's what it takes to get in. Here's a website you can link out to. So we have clients that just invest in the College Money Report, which is what you're seeing here is the widget. And they just provide this as a free value add for their clients. Banks and credit unions really like this tool because it doesn't require them to have an expert on staff, but it's a tremendous value add for financial literacy to help them understand. So UPenn, look, $83,000 is what it costs to go there. 37,000 your EFC. You're going to get a lot of need-based grants. And years 2, 3, 4, when you have a sibling, you're going to get even more, driving down your net cost. That conversation could probably bring a dream school into play for certain people. Big deal. So, at the end of the day, you're going to try and show you, here's some other schools you might want to consider. That'll be good for you, those generous with need-based grants. And these are all localized based on zip code. So, if you're, all 50 states have different colleges that show up here that will be familiar to you. In Ohio, Oberlin and Capital are two small or private schools that'll be familiar. Ohio State's our flagship school. Out-of-state schools would be expensive typically, so you may want to be very cautious about out-of-state colleges like in Maryland. There's this fascination with kids of wanting to go across the border and pay 3 times as much tuition. I don't find it worth it very often. And then, just understanding schools that aren't generous to need-based aid, they cost a lot and they don't give a lot of money out. They're not very generous like NYU. And all these things, it's not against, nothing against you or your family, but like if you looked at a school like Penn, they're going to show you like, look, if you have need, we meet 100%, but we don't have scholarships. And none of the Ivies do. None of our top 25, 50 schools do. And then other schools are more generous with scholarships. So it's understanding, giving people the bottom line. But in the College Money Report, it's just the beginning of the journey. And you can put whatever calls to action people want back here. So whatever you want to fill in here, for us, this is just a good sample. We want them to consider, how do you graduate with manageable debt? How do you create a budget? Let's talk. So that's kind of ours. And then this triggers for most people. This is all linked up through Zapier, so it will trigger a welcome sequence for them. It'll deliver the report, but then it'll also say, "Hey, welcome." And so it's all linked up and integrated within the system. So again, when it comes in, prospects come into a prospects tab. They're sitting in there, and then let's see if I put one here. So all the prospects come in here. I'm not going to show them because I don't want to show any client names, but they come into a prospect tab, right? And then you can decide how you disseminate them and what's going on with that client. So we got prospects, clients. So that's the College Money Report. And then that College Money Report, you also are going to drive on into the College Aid Pro system. And this is the Advisor Workstation. This is our base product. The Advisor Workstation allows you unlimited clients. You can run through here. You can share with them. You can, collaborate with them right inside the tool. And then, really, without going through step by step, and we do have a full demo that's there, but, I want to show you the framework that is used within the College Aid Pro system, because it's really about understanding at the top what schools think you can afford, which is your EFC, and we'll auto calculate all of those. So, depending on where things are at. So, if you go from 250 to 500,000 of investments, we're going to show you, that your EFC is going to change, right? So if we go drop that back down, that's what that is. So, home equity, like if we bump this up to 300,000, for example, it's going to change institutional and consensus, but it's not going to change your federal EFC. So these are the kind of things that, you don't have to worry about knowing everything about every single school. But what you do need to know is how to put the information in correctly, opportunities to gather great information. Then we run them through a budget. This is our exercise to help you determine your family budget. Call it really a one-page college funding plan. How are normal families paying for college? Let's talk through. What do you have saved? What are you saving on a monthly basis? Do you have any other assets? You'll see all these things with notes along the way. And if a parent does this on their own, you can do it. What about cash flow? Really important aspect. Can you cash flow some of college? What about the student? Do you expect them to pay? Will you qualify for the tax credit? All that's baked into the tool. Do you expect your students to work during school? Grandparent outside help. This is a big one. I can't stress this one enough. I meet with successful 50-year-olds that make a couple $100,000, still can't talk to mom and dad about money. Well, we need to know what's going on because we're going to get a bill for 80 grand. So we need to know if you're going to help pay for that. So we've got a budget. Now we've got a budget and we've got our EFCs. And now we can go shopping for school. And this gets into the power of the College Aid Pro system. We're going to give you a predictive outcome of what each of those looks like. And we're going to give you essentially a business model. So what most financial planning software is going to show you is the cost of attendance. So if you rank them that way, That's what it's going to show you. But what I'm more concerned with is the net cost. And you see those numbers get jumbled. Every family has a unique path to college that we have to help them figure out. There is no one size fits all. So for each school, we're going to show you a number of things on that school. We're going to show you the admissions criteria. So what does it take to get in? A link to there. We're going to show you how they run their business, which is financial aid. And we're going to show you what method they use to determine if you're eligible. If they meet it, what percentage of students get a scholarship? What's the average scholarship? And then the outcome from that school. Every scholarship for every school in the country is listed in here. And we're going to give you a predictive outcome of which one we think you'll get. So this university scholarship right here, this is the one we think you would get. This is a 32 ACT. So we're going to predict you're going to get that university scholarship at $29,000. Every scholarship for every school in the country. And then this is a new piece for us. If you haven't visited us a while, outcomes is a new tab where we're going to help you understand what does it look like if you go to Case Western? What's the starting salary? And then what's my 10-year salary on an average and then on the quartiles? So, this is really getting into outcomes. And then we're also getting into affordability profiles. So understanding that if you have no loans, that's ideal. If your loans are under the federal direct of $27,000, that's actually a great outcome. If you can stay below what you're going to make your first year, you'll make it. If you go over that, we're really going to caution you that may be a little too expensive for you. If you're not going to make at least what you make, if you're not going to, your first year salary is not going to be more than your student loan amount total, you may want to reconsider that decision. So, again, every school in the country, and you're going to get into, 1 year and 4 year. So a lot of times what's going to come up, though, is I have these 4 schools I'm interested in, but I don't know any other schools that I might be interested in. So the advanced search is like shopping for colleges using Orbitz or Travelocity for an airline. You get to pick and choose what's important to you. Is it distance from home? Do you care about the state? Do you want a type of school? Do you want to make sure it has, your business major? Do you want to make sure it's Forbes ranked? And I want to find schools that are, within $30,000 of my budget. So you can see we're shrinking down from thousands of schools down to these. And then, can you just show me schools that have automatic scholarships? Automatically, here's a list of schools that you could provide a client, or a client, you can get these and say, here's a list of 37 schools that you would get an automatic scholarship. Can you just list those for me based on who will give me the most merit scholarship? Yes, I can. And there you go. So that is the power. Imagine being a help family. This is shopping smart for college. Understanding how to find more options is obviously huge, and then help and show them the finish line, right? Because when we get into helping people understand, what exactly we're looking at borrowing analysis to say, look, what's our funding gap? I just want to see which schools I don't have a loan at and which ones I do. Look, these are some pretty good outcomes based on some of these schools. Like if I looked at, my alma mater, Penn State here, $93,000, I'm gonna have $1,000 a month payment. It's not great, but for this family, Penn, you can have a $350 a month payment, only 30,000 loans. No sacrifice in quality there, I don't think. So these are the types of things we're able to illuminate, not ruling schools out based on the sticker price. It's a highly tailored price projection for it. So I'm going to wrap on a few things. So the pieces that we've added, if you're new to us, what we've been up to in our summer camp, right? So when you're in clients now, I should have stayed there for a second, but when you're in clients, you're going to have a private scholarship search tool right inside of there that a family can go through and select the private scholarships they're interested in. That's not something that we really manage, but we do encourage our clients to do. We coach them to do those types of things at home. So, at the bottom here, we've gone through all the way down, and private scholarships, whole new tab that allows them to find great scholarships they're interested in. They can star them. They can find out, more about them right from in here. They can link out to the website to go learn more. When they come back in, they'll have, just the list of those scholarships that they're interested in that they've already started. So, these are the list of scholarships that Riley likes. So when they log back in, they'll have all those in there. So private scholarships is there. I've talked about community, but when we talk about what we do, the community really, it's like a Google search for, of all the thought leaders. So, appealing financial aid is a huge hot button. And there's dozens and dozens of, of letters and templates and all kinds of stuff. So our community is very robust. And then the Academy for Learning we've kind of really beefed this up as well. So you can find your enrolled, explore all courses. We've got software training courses. We've got some paid courses up now, technical training. We've got our free platform certificate. So we've got a master class on demand that can be purchased. And if you want to do that, if you're even interested in that, if you're looking at it, if you do a free trial, you can sign up for the courses and get access to them. It's just, that's how you get access to get into the courses. So, we're really excited about it. We got our masterclass up there. We also got a college funding and student loan workshop that I did with the loan expert, Heather Jarvis. So try to keep them low cost, high impact for all of you. So, we're super excited about the learning environment we've created to hopefully bring more comfort. And then the last piece I want to hit on is our College Aid Pro, what we call the marketing hub. So, this idea of, can we find now, if we had 2 advisors or 2,000 advisors, you can track the entire footprint and use this for marketing and campaigns. The marketing hub, it's not even up on the website. If you're interested in this, the abilities here are the ability to create, you can have insight into your entire footprint. You can share clients with other advisors. You can share clients with all advisors. You can share it for a week. So, it's ability to support your entire system, and then also go in and slice and dice and create reports for whatever you want. So, if you just want to see prospects by advisor that are graduating in 2023, here is our list of people we could target that we know are rising juniors that we have not interacted with yet, that have filled out a college money report. So that is the level of detail. So if you're a larger footprint and you've got a number of advisors, this college money report is a way to build awesome laser focused campaigns, sliced and diced by advisor, time frame, grad year, everything else. And then all the way down to creating even more custom reports that allow you to dig into, can I view some saved templates if I just want to look at financials? I want to look at financials and then sort them by all the different data points. So, this is a way to really laser focus and target people for whatever it is that you want to position with them from a marketing standpoint. So, I'm at the top of the hour. I'm happy to take questions, but the couple key things I would say are, just we have the new ebook. If you're interested, we'll provide a link to that. The marketing hub, the ability to use Teams and really leverage and see your entire footprint is totally new. And then our courses available. So we've been working hard. Our summer camp has been has been pretty interesting. So, and stay tuned. We've got some big announcements coming, going full new update on the data. This is I'm always humble for these webinars, been part of this for a long time. Yeah, so I'll take some questions and see if we can. Yeah, slides will be downloaded. Book a meeting if you want to talk OBA. Jaime, talk to me. Get in touch with us. Or me personally, I think you have my email. Yeah, talk to me about Prudential specifically. Can you get case support? Yeah, so we do it a couple ways. There's a group format where we do case support. So we do biweekly roundtables as part of our training. So that's one thing. And then people bring cases to those all the time. And then we're happy to support. We've got a ticketing system. So if you've got specific questions, we can figure that out. So yes, we can give you case support. Explain the differences in the level of client access. So Clifton, I think what you're referring to is like, if we're inside of a client, like how does the client access levels, what do those look like? So we've got, if you want to have them go through a discovery mode, that would be being able to just send them a fact finder, and they just go through the fact finder and then they say thank you. And then if you go through an onboarding, they go through that fact finding, and then the onboarding, and then would put them right inside of their College Aid Pro family portal. So that looks very similar to where we're at. And Collaborate is simply, they're in there. They have carte blanche access to whatever you give them access to. And you can customize that client experience, I should say, too. You can pick and choose exactly what you want that end user to see. So, that's a piece you can do. So I just pulls up, like, you can enable or disable any components that you don't want them to see on their end. That's at the advisor's discretion. Sorry about that. Where did that go? Get through a couple more of these questions here. Do you currently, or do you plan to have integration to Redtail? Gary, we have Zapier integrations with them. They seem to work pretty well, but it is on the roadmap to have kind of direct integration. But it seems to work pretty well. For advisors who want to monetize, hey David, what's up? Monetize college planning, do they grant access to CAP, or do they tend to keep that to themselves? I would say 99% give access to CAP. After the fact, after they've come on board and you onboard them. I don't know why you wouldn't. We coach them on how to use the platform and not call us for everything. So I think it's part of the value is that they have technology when they work with us. Do we have marketing decks? Yeah, we have we have a slide deck and 2 brochures that people can use for point of sale. So we actually have 2 PowerPoints. We've got a couple different point of sale brochures that are consumer facing that are just part of membership. So a couple of those we're updating right now and trying to get some additional stuff. How do we get in touch? Best way is to book a discovery demo on the website. So collegeapro.com. Just book a demo. It'll either come to me or one of the other co-founders. So that's the best way to get in touch. Subscriptions range anywhere from $99 to $299 a month. We've got a bunch of partner discounts. So if you reach out, we can do it. If you want to pay annually, I'm sure we can figure it out. We typically haven't, but I'm sure we can figure it out. Can we capture leads and then outsource some of the process to you? Yeah, we have some support systems. We have some advisors that just do college planning that can support advisors in that capacity. It's not something we have on the website, but it's definitely something that we have those with the new client sharing capabilities and multiple advisors on one platform. There's a lot of capability to be able to do that right through the system. John, I will, if you want to discuss the Marketing Hub, just book in a call. We don't even have it up on the website yet. I just wanted to share it today. So if people are interested in that Marketing Hub and the costs associated, if you can book a demo, and we'll figure out if it's right for you and what it will cost. I mean, roughly the costs are, around $100 per month to get access. So, no, I don't know about a finder's fee. We can discuss it. Just reach out. Let's just conversation about what you're doing in your practice. Happy to talk about all this stuff. Based on, do we plan on adjusting the net price calculators based on the upcoming FAFSA changes? I mean, absolutely. And people said, why didn't you update them? You haven't made the changes with the proposed changes because they're proposed. And then what happened 2 weeks later? Well, they pushed them back to 24, 25. So until it's law, we have a hard, so that's why we didn't make any changes. We weren't hasty with the new student aid index because, like all the big changes have gotten pushed off. And even that is it's just buying them time. We've been doing this long enough to know that when stuff comes down from the Senate, then it has to go to the Department of Education, and the Senate has no clue what the heck they're talking about. They try and pass these bills and these laws, and they sneak them through under COVID. And it's just like, some of the changes in there are just absolutely ridiculous. Some of them are awesome. Some of them are ridiculous. We've got petitions out for a couple of those. If you haven't seen them, particularly about multiple kids in school at the same time. But I mean, make no mistake. And then, I don't know who this person is, but, our data accuracy team consists of the financial aid director at one of the Harvard schools, former Boston College, Dr. Mark Salisbury, Lynn O'Shaughnessy. So, our data accuracy is not just us, and we've got, you'll be seeing from us, we'll be bringing on a full-time data team, and that announcement should be coming out soon. We're excited to have even more firepower on the team, internally and externally, and on our advisory team. So, yeah, we're on top of it. As soon as the new formulas, our net price calculator is going to change here soon, because we hope to have some new guidance on the institutional method and consensus method. So, lots of stuff in the hopper. Always. Let me see. I think we're clear. I think I got everybody cleared. So, thank you all for joining. Check us out. We'll send some follow up to you, but go to collegeaidpro.com and book in a demo. For any of these questions you have, and we're happy to take those. And once you get on board with us, you'll be part of the biweekly roundtables. Get access to me and the other co-founders on a regular basis. So, hope to see everybody soon. And I do think if you book a demo by the 1st of August, we are going to provide a 10% discount on anything you purchase with us. So hopefully we'll talk soon, and be well. Hopefully your summer's been great. Hopefully this summer camp has been insightful for you on how to build and have a great fall here, as we getting back into season, build your efficiency. If you're doing this work at all, I hope you're doing it with College Aid Pro and helping you keep organized, do this in a scalable way, build this into your work for your financial planning clients and your college clients. And together, hopefully we can, change the way America shops for college. See everybody soon. Thanks.